Hey crypto bros, hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are and you're enjoying the current state of the market. Today we're going to be talking about the Vmpx, whether or not it is an actual scam, whether or not X1 is controlled by the big whales. I'm going to give you the numbers, the statistics, so you can make your own decision at the end of the day. And we're going to be talking about the Bitcoin chart on the shorter time frame, what's going on there, because it is important to look at the lower time frames so you can understand where we're going. So let's go ahead and get started into the video, guys. So I was able to find this query, and this query basically provides you information on the top wallets that were able to mint Vmpx. With that being said, I can see that the first wallet was essentially able to pay about $727,000 to basically mint almost 11.5 million in Vmpx, which is a good fair amount of Vmpx going to one particular wallet, guys. So what I did is I grabbed the top 30 wallets in this query, and I was able to come up with that the top 30 wallets were able to control and capture about 51,748,000 of Vmpx. So that's a huge amount, guys. That's almost 50% of the total supply just going to 30 wallets alone. So let's put this into context. Let's put it into the context of what's going to be happening with X1. So there's a few information I need you to look at before we get the broader picture of this. So the first thing is that we do know that XN supply is going to be 1 billion. And we know that 30% of the XN supply is going to Vmpx and Bvmpx minters or holders at the end of the day. So that means 300 million of XN will be distributed to Vmpx and Bvmpx holders. Now, this user allocation may vary depending on who's swapping or staking, as it is one-to-one. Just keep that in mind, guys. So let's go ahead and take a look and talk about the top wallet that basically was able to mint this 11 million Vmpx and how much control they have in regards to XN. So we can see that 11 million, okay, divided by the total supply. Again, we know that the total supply of Vmpx is about 108 million. So if you were to basically divide that, you would get 11% of the Vmpx supply. So this particular wallet is controlling 11% of Vmpx. Now, if you take that 11% of 300 million of allocation for XN, that means this particular wallet was able to capture about 33 million XN, guys. That is a very nice chunk of XN that this person has control over. Okay, now if we look at the top 30 wallets, we can see that they are controlling about 48% of Vmpx supply. So by calculating all of these, this is what I was able to come up with, which is about 51 million, almost 52 million. And if you were to divide that, just the same thing as you would do with the top wallet, you would get about 48% Vmpx. So meaning that meaning the top 30 wallets are controlling 48% of Vmpx, guys. So that's that's a huge amount, guys. That's a very fair, huge amount. So if we take that 48% of 300 million allocation for XN, that basically gives us 144 million going to the top 30 wallets of Vmpx minters, guys. So that's pretty huge, okay? Just looking at it in terms of context of numbers, guys. Now, if we take about 144 million, okay, divided by the billion supply of XN that we know, so that means that 14.4% went to the top 30 wallets of this Vmpx minting phase, guys, okay? So that's very huge, and meaning that 3.5% of XN allocation went to this top wallet, guys, this top wallet right here. Okay, so this is very huge. Okay, this mint process for Vmpx had a big conclusion overall for X1, guys, and who is basically getting the allocation for this. Now, I want you to keep something into perspective, okay? Now, because of this query, if we look at this particular query, let's say if these same people actually participated on BRC20 side, that means that some of these people that the top 30 wallets are actually controlling 30% of X1. Now, the probabilities of that actually happening are actually very low because they had to fork up a lot of capital, essentially a lot of economic energy to basically mint BVMPX and EVMPX. And if somebody has that type of economic energy, then I mean, it's just basically a whale's game. Now, at the end of the day, guys, look, in the stock market or in the crypto space, you can't actually run away from whales. There's always going to be somebody who has more money than the other person. You can't stop anybody from participating at the end of the day. That's what I call first principle. Now, with that being said, the distribution model of it, how it was actually done, things could have been a lot better to benefit the Zen ecosystem. So with that being said, whales are always going to be a part of the game at the end of the day, guys. Whales are always here. They're always in control. And sometimes if you are following the path of the whales, you can actually make substantial amount of money. Now, depending on what you're in it for in regards to Zen, whether you're in it for profits or whether you're in it for first principle, well, you can always make the argument and the debate for both sides at the end of the day. Personally, myself, I am in it for the gains. You know me as a trader here at Crypto Bros. That's what I do. I always increase my capital at the end of the day, guys. Second thing is that, look, I'm very positive in regards to when it comes to blockchain, when it comes to first principle, and that's why I am invested in this particular project at the end of the day, guys. So with that being said, the question comes down to, what are you in it for? Are you in it for first principles, or are you in it to basically capture some of this value into your portfolio? So I'll leave that up to you guys for you to decide. I'm just showing you the numbers, the statistics, the probabilities, for you to make that conclusion for yourself. One other thing I wanted to note is that these top 30 wallets, I did some research on them, and I was able to find a lot of Asian activity. So it seems like the Zen community is filled with a lot of, you know, East Asian or South Pacific Asia in regards to this. And I was also able to find a lot of bot activity. So it seems like China might be controlling Zen at the end of the day, or you might see a lot of, you know, South Koreans being invested heavily into Zen. So guys, I mean, it is what it is, but with these bots, we do find them in the crypto space a lot, with them being market makers and actually providing liquidity for you know, both sides. So again, I'll leave it up to you for you to decide what you want to do with this information. I'm just showing you what I'm saying here. So let's go ahead and jump into the Bitcoin chart, guys. We can see on the 4-hourly, we see that there is higher lows being put in on the stochastic. That's why we actually started to see this particular drive up to the 2155 day moving average. We can see that they are starting to get across as long as we're continuing trading below 30,400. With that being said, this 4-hourly candle is going to be closing in about 34 minutes. So we do have some momentum overall for the bulls. We can see we are putting lower lows on price action, while on price we are putting lower lows, while on the stochastic we are putting higher lows, which indicates basically a bullish regular divergence, a trend change on the lower time frames. Which basically continues this upward trend momentum. However, we do want to see a closure above 30,400, and if that's the case, if we are able to close above that and regain these moving averages, then the most likely retest target would be around 31,300. Now, with that being said, we can see that we've been discussing it over the past week, that we are getting regular bearish divergence on the daily, guys. We can see right here, we are actually putting in lower highs. So this is the first lower high, the second lower high, and the third lower high, which is being confirmed by the cross right here. And we can see that on price action, we are putting in, again, higher highs and higher highs after higher highs here, which is starting to confirm and put in downside pressure on the daily. Now, on the daily, what we need to do is to continue to maintain this $30,000 structure, because if that's the case, we are saying that we are putting in, again, a higher low on this drive right here, which is holding as a very nice support structure. We've been saying it's a key psychological level. This will basically drive us off into the continuation into our strategy that we've been discussing on our previous videos here, guys. And that was coming off of the backstop of, again, the 2-day signal of the 55-day moving average, which brings us about 49% to the upside, which could see us come up to $38,000, guys. So again, just a few information I wanted to provide for you in regards onto the lower time frames. I'll leave you off with this. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Until next time, bros, as always, stay profitable.